Hello everyone. Just a quick update on various things that have come onto my screen in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Just a quick thing. Initially, this was posted by somebody the other day, and I reposted it on my Facebook. And I think it's quite a good summary of how things seem to be working, and sort of the grid of images does seem to cover quite a lot of what we're subjected to. And indeed, the work that people like myself have been trying to do is to kind of break through all of these things and have a new way of living. So with that in mind, I wanted to just go through a few things. As I say, for example, this was sent to me by a chap called Glenn, who's in New Zealand or is it Australia, I always get mixed up. Anyway, he sent me this, and it's quite an interesting. Let's let a bit of this video play. It'll be slow frame rate because of the settings of my recording. And basically, these white cylinders have been spotted in various locations. I think there's about 6 in this video, so I'll obviously include all the links, and you can look at the video for yourself. So there is that to go and watch. It's quite interesting. And of course, what happened was I posted this on Facebook. I'll just pause that. And then I got some confirmations that other people have seen this as well. So like Sharon Russell here and Audrey says they've seen these things, so maybe you have too. Maybe there's quite a few of these things around. I think there are some in the YouTube comments as well. If I go back to that, I didn't look at the comments very much, but I think there are a few confirmations in the YouTube comments here, like for example, Deborah Corbell saw one exactly like this on October the 6th. So again, if you're out and about, keep your eyes peeled. Maybe there is something going on, in the comments about Project Bluebeam, as I say, and possibly priming people for the fake alien invasion, which has been on the cards for some time, I think. And if you're new to this channel, you might think that's way out stuff, but basically, the prognosis that I've come to is that if you look at what they did on 9/11 and they look at how the plane stories were put in place, then it appears they used some sort of image projection technology or holographic technology, and then the towers, of course, were turned to dust before they hit the ground, which was quite reminiscent of the scene in Independence Day with the Empire State Building being destroyed. So really, to sort of get the fake alien invasion going, they can replace the planes, the images, the projections, or whatever, with flying saucers, destroy another building, because we know they can do that, whoever did it, and you've got your fake alien invasion. And I've made a video about that in the past, and you can find that on Check the Evidence and stuff, and on my YouTube channel as well. I'll try and put a link to that in the description if I remember. So switching over to the next one that I've got highlighted now. This was sent to me by Matt in Guernsey. It's an article in Pulse, and it's quite interesting. Basically, what they've got here is they've found that this bacteria, which is called Geobacter sulfuriducens, can generate continuous electric power in the ambient environment. There's some sort of process that goes on in this bacteria whereby it absorbs moisture, and then it produces nanofibers of protein, I think, and somehow this actually produces a voltage, and there's the details are here in this article, and they're wanting to scale this up. It's the usual story. I mean, people have occasionally come up with these things. We've had things like the Blacklight Power Corporation. Obviously, Cold Fusion was initially saying that they were going to produce small amounts of energy and stuff. So it's worth reading this. I mean, I don't think it's anything massively significant. And the problem is, the article asks here, I think, at the top, why do none of the truly free energy sources we keep hearing about ever come to market? Well, the answer to that is, of course, or one of the answers, is because that technology has already been weaponized, or one version of it that produces limitless energy, and it was used on 9/11. And as I've said multiple times, and I'll just take the opportunity to say it again here, until the energy people and the inventors know this, and politicians know this, and understand this properly, it ain't going to change, because those that are in charge have this technology. We don't know who they are, etc., etc. I've said it all before. So anyway, just to go on a little bit from that, interestingly, at the bottom of this article, I read to the bottom, There is this video from 2020, and there's this. I didn't know they'd made a second Thrive film. I'm not sure how old it is. I haven't been to look it up. So what they show in this video here is that they went to see a chap in Zimbabwe. This is Foster Gamble and his wife, and you'll see he's got this sort of generator. I've got this set to low resolution here because I'm currently on a hotspot and I've got limited bandwidth available. So you've got this generator here that he's built. He calls it a microsonic energy device, which he claims harvests energy from radio frequency energy in the atmosphere. In the video, not many more details about that are given. If I can find any more links on this, I'll again add them to the description. But this is a very interesting one as well, and looks quite substantial. Looks like a lot of money has been spent on it, particularly in somewhere like Zimbabwe, which of course probably doesn't have a very large economy. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm just making assumptions, but there you are. You can check this one out. Same old story. The guy invents device. They put him in prison. It mentions here briefly, and the thing, maybe gets some interest. This guy on the left, I think, is a physicist that Gamble has taken with him to validate it, and it's the same old story really. So I'll let you explore that. So finally, then, I was sent this by someone yesterday. Just an interesting story, really. There's nothing particularly massive in this. It was just an interesting story and quite well written. An archaeologist called Jerry Freeman, he actually went on the trail of the 49ers, during the gold rush, and they actually crossed what became Area 51 in 1849 sort of time. And there is this video here. This one's quite long. The first one is 41 minutes, as you can see there, and it's quite long-winded and probably gives too much detail. And so Jerry wanted to find a particular inscription that these 49ers had made while traveling across Nevada to go out to the west. And he'd already found 6 of 7 inscriptions that they'd made on their journey outside Area 51, and he wanted to get the final one inside Area 51. He wrote to the airport for 5 years, and they refused, and eventually he decided to go in illegally and walk through. And then in 1997, I think it was, he called into Coast to Coast. It might have been 1999. And told Art Bell of his journey and described what he did. So you can hear that's 11-minute recording there. That's on another YouTube video. And also there was he published his story through the Los Angeles Sun, and there's his diary there, so you can hear the story. And it's quite an interesting story. There's quite a good summary. That's quite a good summary there. In that, there's another one in the LA Times. And he did get to see Papoose Lake. He took some pictures and he saw some slightly strange goings on, but he didn't really report anything out of the ordinary. Interestingly, he crossed the nuclear test site and he drank some water near there, and there didn't seem to be much radiation around, so at least if there was, he didn't immediately fall ill. And he'd already had prostate cancer before he went on this trip. And eventually he died in 2001 after a recurrence of the prostate cancer. So you can read that if you want, and see what you think of that. But basically, for now, that's it. So again, thanks for watching. Share this if you want to, and keep your eyes on the skies. Keep your wits about you as we go through all the craziness, and we'll see where we end up.